Hi, I'm Ashley and I'm going to talk you through what to do with returning specimens to the collection. So anything new coming into the collection space, whether that's new material, a returning loan, or any associated collection items, pose a risk to the existing collection. That's because they may be containing hitchhikers. Yep, believe it or not, there are some insects that we don't like to see in the store, and those are the pest species, so they may potentially feed on our collections. So what we do is we quarantine any of these new or returning things coming into the store. We do that by putting things in the freezer, so applying low temperature treatment. What we do is we want to seal the boxes or drawers within polythene. Now, if you've got a small size box like this, they fit nicely within polythene bags. But obviously, if you had a larger piece of storage, perhaps a whole cabinet, then you'd want to wrap it in polythene wrap and seal the edges with sticky tape. You can see full details on how to do that in our integrated pest management training, so have a look at that. So once it's in the bag, we also want to include a label explaining exactly which date it went into the freezer. So I just add that on there. Put that in the bag. It's better to put it within the bag in case it falls off the outside of the bag during the freezing process. Seal it up. And then it's going to go into the deep freeze at minus 30 degrees Celsius for a minimum of 72 hours, but longer if possible. And then once the freezing process is complete, you want to remove it from the freezer, but give it time to acclimatise. So make sure that the box gets up to room temperature before you move it from the bag. And this is going to help avoid any condensation forming on the specimens inside. So this process should also be deployed if you suspect any pest infestations. The key signs of pest attack to look out for are any frass underneath the specimens in the bottom of the box or in the bottom of the drawer. And this can be like a very fine dust, almost like sand underneath the specimen. It's actually insect poo, so that's what you should be looking out for. Another thing is any shed skins. So these are the remains of the insect as it's progressed through its life stages, which show that insects are feeding within that collection. And then also any signs of any breakages can be indicative too. So any legs or antennae or things that have broken off could indicate that pests are feeding in there as well. Or worse, you could have something like this. So this is a historical collection, which we keep for training purposes. You can see it's quite old, and we sometimes refer to it as the Box of Doom. So this is a collection that was destroyed by pests. So worst case scenario, this is what could happen. So you can actually see that we have cards here that no longer have any specimens on them. It's really the stuff of curator nightmares. So following quarantine of any suspected infestations, it's a really good idea to also remove any of that frass that was on the bottom of the box or in the bottom of the drawer. And this is to really benefit the future curators and collection users so that historical frass doesn't cause them alarm and they get into panic that they've got a current infestation. So if you tidy this up, that's really going to be a benefit to them. Because I haven't got any frass with me right now, I've just demoed this with some sand. And what you would want to do is make sure that you move the specimens out into a safe place. So I'd move this away from the area. And then use a little bit of sticky tape. So really easy and quick method, because sometimes the frass can really stick into the tiny pores of the plastozote. So if you just double side some sticky tape and then lightly tap over the area, it will pick all of that up for you. Just lightly dabbing that. Like so. So quarantining incoming collections is essential for keeping all of your collections safe from pests.